Christelle Bedrossian. Welcome.
Thank you.
So you're emotional eating specialist and expert in behavior change. As a clinical dietitian, hypnotherapist, and breathwork practitioner, you help people transform their relationship with food and their bodies, break free from emotional eating, and end weight struggles. You came with a new approach that addresses the real roots to change,
Yes.
right? Okay, now please tell me your story. How did everything started?
Okay, so I have a background in clinical nutrition. So I'm a dietitian, nutritionist, and I worked for like 12, 13 years in Lebanon.
Oh, a long
In
time.
my clinics, I had 3 clinics, and throughout the time and seeing people, I saw a certain pattern. So people lose weight, they are happy, but then they gain back the weight. It could be after a month, 2, some people a year, but there's always the back to the old patterns. So it's like I noticed that it's not enough for someone to understand what they need to eat, because there's something that will stop them and they will push them to go back to the old habits, to what they are used to do. And some people are even maybe better than me at counting their calories, but what is it that is pushing them to eat again and not follow properly the diet? So here I was thinking there is the emotional and the mental pattern that I need to understand more. It's not about just numbers, calories, protein, that, on a scientific, just the numbers, understanding the nutrition on a scientific level only. You need to go into the emotional part. And this is where, when I came to Dubai, I studied hypnotherapy, because in hypnotherapy, you learn about emotional eating. So actually, when you are stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, you might go and search for food to comfort that feeling or to feel less stressed. So it was very important to understand how people emotionally eat through hypnotherapy.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then with the breath work, so the breath work was a complete different story. It wasn't like something I decided to, okay, I want to study breath work and I want to put it in my work. So what happened is I joined a challenge for 5 days, like to do breath work. So it was a personal, thing. So I did it and I felt the shift in only 5 days of like noticing how I'm breathing, how shallow I'm breathing versus how deep I can breathe, and how I'm changing my way of thinking or feeling, and how the breath works effect after I do it on my body. So it was like very interesting. And I decided to just study it for myself. And while I was studying it for like over 14 weeks, I'm like, impossible. I need to teach it to my patients as well, because it helps with their nervous system, and which is a part that we don't really work with the hypnotherapy, like the nervous system. The body is somatic, so it adds up. And this is how my approach became holistic. It has the nutrition part, the nutrition psychology, and the subconscious mind, and the breath work, the somatic part. So it works on all layers.
That's so interesting. So, but was there any turning point? I think you've mentioned that you've noticed that a lot of people are going back after a different
Yes.
period of time. So that's when you realized that the nutrition alone wasn't enough. And what led you to integrate hypnotherapy and breath work?
Yeah, actually, it's throughout the years I've been feeling that this is what I need to go towards, like more the emotional part. And I was doing it already. When I was a dietitian, like I would spend 10, 15 minutes for the diet, but then the remaining time I would spend it like how you're eating, are you stressed, what's happening, and discuss other parts of someone's life. Because you cannot make your life as just one category and then forget about all the rest. Everything is interconnected.
Of course.
Your personal problem, your relationship problems, professional problems, everything is related. How you behave at work, like a lot of, if you have kids or not. So I used to spend time on those parts, but it was later when I came to Dubai, I'm like, okay, I need to upgrade and get more from the nutrition part.
Interesting. And what was the hardest part in the beginning?
Well, the hardest part is, to get outside the traditional model. As a dietitian, it's a paramedical field. You need to abide by the rules, the norms. This is the diet. These are the calories. This is how you need to do it as a dietitian. Okay, so it was getting out of the traditional model and search what else I need to add to support my patients. And also the people who are not maybe familiar with hypnotherapy, they would say, like, I remember even my sister was like, hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
You're in the paramedical field. What are you doing? And because people don't know what is hypnotherapy.
How do they react to this?
Yeah, how
Yes.
they are connected, and are you sure you want to do that? And it was tricky for me to redefine or to also make people know me not only as a dietitian, but also as, a holistic professional, taking the subconscious part and the somatic part. So that was, I think, very challenging, but also how people see me. So they would come to lose weight. They want a diet. So they come for a diet. So how to help them understand that it's not only about diet, that we need to look at the emotional, but but this, I don't want to tackle it. But this is the most important part that you need to tackle. So people are a bit resistant to change. And I would have such comments like, but this is completely different than the other dietitians. Yes, it is. And some people would maybe not like it. But then, like, this is not the type of people that I want to work with.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you are only coming, and now I'm more, I'm very direct. If you're only coming for the diet, for the number of calories, I think there are so many other dietitians in the market that can help you. What I do is completely different. You need to see that so many other factors are affecting your diet. And for me, after 17 years of experience, I can guarantee you that if you follow my approach, it will give you a lasting change. If you want only the traditional way, then maybe it's better for you to go for someone else.
Right. And what do you see women are struggling the most?
In general, I feel in Dubai specifically that women, they don't have enough time for themselves. So they give too much for other people, for their family, their kids, their work. And the last person they would think about is themselves.
Especially if they have kids and busy work or business.
100%. So they are not really caring for themselves. They think like it's a luxury to stop and go and exercise or to do a breath work or a meditation. Like they don't have the time.
Yeah, they have different priorities.
Priorities. And I think it's important to start, helping themselves first, because you cannot give if you do not take care of yourself. It's just like in the plane. They tell you have to save yourself first to be able to save the others. So how can I, if my cup is empty, because it gets empty because I work a lot and I have kids, let's say, it gets empty. How can I give to my kids from an empty cup? And I have kids. I have twins, and they are 6 years old.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work. So when I really need to rest or to sleep or to just take a break, I need to do it. So I give better and more to my kids. And going to the gym is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Like, we need it for our body, to care for our muscles, for our joints, because we're working a lot. And if we really want to live longer but healthier, we need to do it. So it's not like if I have the time, I would go and exercise, not necessarily go to the gym, right? But it's not if I have the time, I have to schedule it.
Yeah.
It's a must.
It needs to be part of your
life.
routine.
Yes, exactly. Even if I have responsibilities, then most probably I'm giving too much to others and not enough to myself. Or the women who don't have time to eat.
Oh yeah, this is so common. No breakfast,
no lunch.
Just a cup of coffee and off she go.
Yes, and then at night they come and they would eat much more, or they eat quickly in the car,
or they crave for some sugary foods
Yes.
or
Because if
processed
they stay,
foods.
if they stay all day long without eating, they would feel much more hungry, and their cravings will hit harder.
Yes.
So yeah, caring for themselves.
Okay. Tell me more about the connection between stress and weight gain.
So this is why stress and weight are very related. That's why only a diet with just counting the calories doesn't work. So when we are stressed, we go into something we call survival mode. It's the fight or flight mode. So my body will react to that. He would think that, oh my God, there's danger, I need to do something. And then the body will start reacting by making your heartbeat faster, your breath faster, right? Racing thoughts. So it doesn't really care to go and digest your food. So that's why we call it fight or flight. And then the hormones will change. You will secrete more cortisol. And what does cortisol do in our body? One, it will make you store fat. Two, it will make you crave sugary food and high-fat food for survival. Because he thinks, oh my God, something's happening. Maybe I won't get food. So let me just store things. He doesn't know, like, I'm stressed only because I'm scrolling on my Insta or I have a project at work. He really thinks it's a survival issue. So he would store fat, and this is how we start gaining weight. So if you even if you have the best diet, the best dietitian, but you're under stress, nervous system is into the fight and flight mode, it will not burn the calories of the food that you're eating. It will try to preserve it, to protect it.
Yes, and specifically in different areas, for men, as far as I know, they have more cortisol receptors in front of their vital internal organs. So usually men have big stomach, and women will store in front of their female organs. So we will have more fat. Female both and men will have big tummy, but women can also store a lot of fat in their lower body.
Yeah, depending on the hormone, the distribution will become different. Of course, women store fat in their hips, men store more fat in the belly, but specifically the cortisol will make you gain more weight in the belly.
Yeah.
And that's why more women nowadays, we're seeing that they have fat around the belly, and especially after 40 or around the perimenopause and menopause. The hormones shifts and the distribution of fat shifts.
Yes. Knowing everything you know now, if you were a woman struggling with weight loss, what would you do first?
I would connect with my body, understand my body first, and watch my pattern. So, how am I sleeping? How am I reacting to stress? Am I using the food as a coping mechanism? How am I, spending my time? Am I using some, self-regulation methods? Am I meditating? Am I journaling? How am I supporting myself? How am I eating? Am I eating slowly, fast, automatically? Where am I eating? In front of the TV? Yeah, at work, on my desk, just quickly, in my car, in the parking lot after I finished my work. So, study myself.
Right.
That's the first step. Have a look without judging. Just some information to see what's happening in my body. And then I would decide and see, okay, I think this is the area where I can, do something about it. So understand your body and then support yourself and support your nervous system. That's the foundation, basically. The nervous system is the foundation.
Right. Okay, so what are non-negotiable components of fat loss, in your opinion?
Non-negotiable. So going back to the nervous system, I think that's a non-negotiable part. If I'm always stressed, I will store fat. If I'm always stressed, I will go for food to
make more wrong decisions.
Exactly. I will eat fast, I will eat wrong, I'll make unhealthy choices, I will do some emotional eating, which is a second important component, the emotions. So the first one is the nervous system. So this is something very important to protect, to take care of, to understand first, because I think not too many people understand what's my nervous system.
Yeah.
So basically, is how my body reacting to things, and how calm am I, and how am I reactive? Am I choosing something, or it's just a reaction? Okay, when it's just like exactly when someone says something to you and you don't like it, and then you snap out at him, versus I don't like what you said. You decide what you want to answer.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same. So my body wants me to go and eat, and then I just pause. Wait a second, what do you need? You need affection, you need rest, you need a break, because most probably it doesn't need food. It needs one of those. It needs comfort, it needs affection, it needs love, break, rest, sleep. So one, nervous system. Second, understanding my emotions. And this is related to the emotional eating. So how am I feeling? What am I feeling? Okay, because if I tell you, what do you feel? How are you today? You tell me, I'm good. And most probably you're not good. Actually, it's just an answer that we got used to say, I'm good. No, I usually do this exercise with my patients. I give them the emotional wheel and teach them how to read it, and then help them name at least 6 to 9 emotions in one setup. So basically, when I ask you, how do you feel? Then you take that emotional wheel and name 6 to 9 emotions. And this makes a very huge difference. And after you understand what you're feeling, it's important to say, I feel anxious, not I am anxious.
Right.
To separate yourself from the emotion, because you're not the emotion. An emotion
It's
is
what
like
you
a wave.
experience.
Yeah, you're experiencing
Yes.
it. It goes up and down. Now you're anxious, but after maybe an hour, you won't be. So once my mind starts seeing the difference, I am not anxious, I'm feeling anxious. I am not sad, I'm feeling sad. It will understand that it will pass. So getting in touch with our emotions is really important. That's the second part. And the third part is our mind. Understand my distortions. I'll give you an example. The all or nothing thinking is very common, which is like, if you eat, like you're on a diet and then you eat one cookie. And then you say, oh my God, I ate a cookie. The whole diet is a mess. I ruined everything. I'm such a failure. This is the all or nothing thinking. This, specifically this distortion, will make you eat the whole bag of cookies.
Yeah.
So this is not related to the diet, not related to your emotion, okay? It's related to a distortion that I thought about, the all or nothing thinking. If I just reframe it and I say, okay, it is just one cookie, nothing will happen, yeah? It can be still part of my daily eating habit, a healthy eating habit, right? One cookie.
Yes.
And then you move on.
Yes.
Right? But we don't do it because we're not aware of that thought that came to my mind. And that's why Dr. Joe Dispenza say a lot, change your thought to change your life. Basically, it's because of that. If you change your thought, you will change your behavior. You will not eat the whole bag of cookie. And when you change your behavior, your life will change.
Right.
If your target is to lose weight, then you might be able to lose weight, right? When we stop going into extremes. Another distortion is like the should. The should statements is a distortion. I should go to the gym. Who said so? Well, it would be nice if I go to the gym, or it would be nice if I exercise. It would be nice if I move my body. My body will thank me, right? So when I talk nicely to myself without having a distortion, I should, I must, I have to, rules and regulations, everything becomes smoother and nicer in our body.
Okay, since we started talking about exercise, what type of workouts do you believe every person should do to be healthy and to live longer?
Yeah, the gym, like a lot of people I know have like a phobia for the gym. Either they feel intimidated to go to the gym, or they don't like it, or it's boring, or because we put so many exercise rules that they just don't like it. So what matters is to move our body. It could be a gentle flexibility and stretching exercise. I think this is very important, especially after 40, for the joints, and because we work a lot on our computer and on our phones. So for the posture, so the flexibility and stretching part is important. Strength training is important, not necessarily at the gym. It could be with small weights at home.
Yeah, totally.
Resistant band. So this is important for the muscles because we lose our muscles with time. And include some mind and body work. It could be through yoga or the reformer Pilates. This helps you connect with which muscle is working. And I see and I feel it and I breathe with it. And studies show that when you're connecting your mind while you're exercising, this is where you get the results. So it doesn't matter that you do so much, so quickly, intensely. Yeah, you need to just do it in a more mindful way. So these type of exercises that I really like. If you want for more intense, why not? But in general, women are being very stressed. We don't want to add stress to them because you will increase your cortisol, right?
True. Yes.
So we want something that you can do and not stop. We want maintenance, okay? We want moderation. I don't want you to go to the gym and spend 3-4 hours for 2 days and then stop for like a month. Consistency.
Exactly.
And something you enjoy. Like we always think, okay, if I'm enjoying that, I'm not, burning calories. If I'm dancing, yeah, but this is just dancing. This is also a distortion. It's just dancing. But you're burning calories, you're moving your body. It is not
and
just...
you're enjoying in the process.
Yes,
Yeah.
so why not finding nice activities and nice movement that we like, and we include it, and it becomes our daily exercise routine.
Right. Let's talk about tracking. How important is tracking in your approach, and does it improve the success?
So about the tracking, I had a story that I shared. So I had this Garmin watch that make you track everything. And it was lately, like for a year, just stressing me. Like every time I'm looking, I didn't sleep well, and then now I feel tired when you see the number of hours on the on the watch. And then I was surfing, and I lost my Garmin watch. I'm like, was I happy or not? I asked the people, and then some said you were happy, and actually this is about the tracking part. Sometimes when you track a lot, you become so obsessed and so tired mentally, and so attached to it that you cannot remove. I couldn't just stop using it.
I know people like that. Yes.
Until I lost it, and it was like, see, I'm not wearing it anymore. I'm not wearing any tracking watch. So tracking is important, but we need to know how to use it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't tell people to track numbers on the scale. I would tell them track pattern. So pattern is not about a number or something that you need to achieve, and if you don't see it, you're disappointed. Tracking, when are you eating? How are you eating? Yeah, where are you eating?
Right.
So these things, these are parameters that I think would give you valuable insights and information that you can do something about it. It's not about a number that you need to, like a target that you need to reach. Yeah, when you go for tracking on that way, it will help you. You just need it at the beginning to assess what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. You still need to know where you are in the beginning and track for at least a week to know in terms of calories or workouts or sleeping, to know where you are and how are you improving. And then when you get used to it, then you start understanding, because now you are aware. Now your mind is open to this concept. But tracking obsessively, of course, it only increases the stress.
Yes.
So, but another question, how do you implement this? Is it like journaling? You're writing down, when am I eating? How am I eating? Or is it just your observation in your mind?
So the approach that I use is actually a program over 6 weeks. And during these 6 weeks, we go through the 3 pillars. Pillar 1, the emotions. Pillar 2, the mind, the thoughts, the inner dialogue. And pillar 3 is the nervous system. And throughout the weeks, we will track those elements. So the first time I will track my emotions. What am I tending to feel in general before I eat? I'm in general stressed or overwhelmed or sad or bored or tired. Then I track it. Then I'm done. I got the information that I need. Now I want to track my thoughts. what type of distortion am I using? So I teach the 12 distortion, and then I will track. I'm using this and this more, the all or nothing, the should, and then I stop using them or I reframe them. Then I go for my nervous system. How am I supporting my nervous system? Am I journaling? Am I meditating? Am I listening to quiet music? Am I resting? Am I sleeping when my body really needs sleep? So that way I don't overwhelm myself, but then I tackle all the areas that will affect my body. And it becomes, after it becomes very automatic,
Yes.
unconscious, easy.
Part
Will
of
not-
your lifestyle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you tell me I sleep 6 hours or 6 hours and 20 minutes versus like I'm sleeping enough when my body really needs to sleep, and I'm waking up feeling refreshed.
Yes.
Right? Because every person is different, and a number doesn't mean anything. As long as you're being able to handle it over a week, like to making it stable, it would work. It's fine. We're not robot. We're not gonna sleep every day
Yes.
same time.
Yes, exactly. We all have our personal life, and
Yeah.
it can always be different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need to prioritize self-care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Self-care, important word. A
Right.
lot of people would ask me, what is self-care?
Okay. What do you recommend for women who feels like they're making one step forward, one step back? Like they're stuck in the loop.
Yes. Progress is never linear. Yeah, we wish it's linear, but it's not. We go up a little bit down and then go up and then a little bit down. I would in general show a growth, the comfort zone map. And it's like 4 zones. Once we understand this map, we understand what's happening with us, and I will explain it. So the comfort zone map has 4 zones. The first one is the comfort, like you go and eat when you are stressed. It's your comfort zone. You got used to it. If you get out of it, you're not comfortable, but it's not taking you anywhere. It's not helping you, but it's your comfort zone. You still want to eat, and you eat when you're stressed. But then you start learning some tools, like how to be emotionally aware, to learn about your distortion, to learn about your nervous system. And you start learning, and here you're afraid. There's the fear zone. That's the second zone. You're afraid. You question it. Will it work? Will I go back to my old patterns?
Okay.
It might not work for me, even if for others it worked. Well, they ask me these questions. They tell me, and I tell them, don't worry. You're in your fear zone, and it's normal to have questions. You question the system because your mind is seeing something new. He won't accept it directly.
Yeah, you will have doubts.
You will doubt, fear. Then the third zone comes in, which is the learning zone. Here you start implementing the skills. You start, using the emotional wheel. You start looking at the distortion, which one I'm doing, and then you start practicing a bit of meditation, whether it's active or passive, a bit of journaling, resting, etc., like supporting yourself properly. And then you go into the growth zone. This is where things will become very automatic, very easier, because they are now in your subconscious. They were in the conscious, and then you repeated them, and then it becomes unconsciously you will be able to do it. Like now, I don't think about journaling the same way I was thinking before. Like I would have to do it, or okay, let me practice it. Now it's my daily routine.
Nice.
Like I have my journal next to my bed. I do it without even thinking, will I do it or not do it? I just do it. See, this is where also for the exercise, I need to go to the gym, or I need to exercise. First step, second step, third step. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. But then at the end, it becomes part of your life. This is the growth part. So a step forward and a step back. It's very normal because these zones that I mentioned are not linear. You will keep going back and forth, back and forth. So even if sometimes you hit the learning and then a bit of, sometimes you will slip back. You go to the fear, or even the comfort. You will go and eat for your emotions, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But the difference is, you used to eat 10 times in a month because of your emotions. Now you do it 3 times. And this is what I want. I always tell them, you don't have to have zero emotional eating. I personally emotionally eat. Everybody will do it.
Yeah.
But there's a
we all
difference.
can relate. Yeah.
There's a difference between I'm doing it constantly every day, or I'm just, occasionally doing it because of something really hard happening, or PMSing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what am I doing? Like, am I eating the whole bag of chips or 3, 4 and a chocolate, or it's just like one pack of something or one like really big dessert and I'm enjoying it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is what will happen. Go back one step, forward one step. It's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Just get the feedback. When you go back, consider it as a feedback. Okay, what can I do next time?
Mm-hmm.
What didn't work?
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of just, it didn't work. How come it didn't work? Why it didn't work? It didn't work because I didn't have maybe the support
Mm-hmm.
or the help or the healthy food in front of me or
Yeah.
the delivery didn't arrive, you know? So, or I had too much work. So just get it as a feedback and then you keep moving. And always know that you will go back and forth in these zones and it's normal. It's okay. It's life.
Mm-hmm.
Once we normalize things,
Yeah.
it becomes easier.
I really love all these tools you came up with. It's actually quite practical for people who are far from all this knowledge. You make it very easy to implement. This is so amazing.
Yes,
really.
every concept needs to have a practical tool.
Yes.
People need to exercise on something, like practice it. It's not a theory.
Mm-hmm.
You need to practice. How can I practice the emotion part? Then how I practice the distortion part?
Yes.
Yeah, small tool, and then you become able to implement it in your day.
Normally, people are not even aware of this. They first need to learn how to recognize it within their mind.
Yes.
Yeah, they just live their life and they didn't even know it was emotional reaction to their stress. They just had certain craving and they went and eat something dense in calories. But when you're aware, you think like, this is what happened. I was nervous, or I was missing something, or I smelled something and then I felt like, oh, I want that. So when you go back, make like reverse psychology, and then you start being very conscious about food, about your whole lifestyle, right?
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
I help them see like we're in a movie, and instead of being so immersed in that movie and not seeing what's happening, get out of that movie and see your emotions outside of you. I feel anxious.
Yes.
And then see the distortion that you had. You're not your distortion. It's a thought passing. Once you see it, you can change it. And then see what's your nervous system doing and support it. So it becomes like, because there is a very common sentence like, I feel my body is not working with me, it's like against me, like I want something and my head wants something else, my body. So this is happening because they cannot see. So it's good to detach these elements, see them, then you can choose.
Very interesting. I love it. What shaped your philosophy about fitness, health, and lifestyle?
I think not one thing, but definitely my personal experience had a lot on like effect on my professional life. Like I don't teach anything that I haven't done myself. So whether it's breath work or hypnotherapy or journaling or meditation, all the different types of meditation, from vipassana to active to passive meditation to mirror work, like all these tools that I teach in general are things that I personally have done it. And I don't see like one person taught me one thing. I like to have a combination. Like what can I get from this philosophy, or what can I get from this culture as well, because you have the yoga from an old ancient wisdom. So taking what's best in different culture philosophy is really what shaped me personally, but also affected my professional life, because this is what I give to my patients.
Of course, and I can see that it's your passion. It's not only something that you do for work, it's something you are connected emotionally and personally.
Yes, and I do it, and I like to share my personal stories, because people would think like, then she's perfect, then she does everything right. No, I
Far
also
from it.
do the distortions, but I see them and I reframe them, and I also get stressed sometimes, and I also eat sometimes when I'm anxious. Yes, it's normal, normalizing it.
Yes. What did you learn, and how do you pass this message to other women over time through your practice?
Well, the main message is about, how we, like working with women, helped me see how we don't really take care of ourselves, I think. Um, Befriending ourselves. How we become friend with our body. So we're so disconnected from our body that it becomes like an enemy. We put rigid rules, we put discipline, we criticize ourselves. We say that I don't have willpower. So there is the criticism all the time here, the guilt, the shame. So how can I go from these, not very positive feelings towards more self-compassion and acceptance, to step away from being perfectionist and accept a bit some flaws, a bit some one step back. So connecting to my body, talking nicely to it, becoming friend with it, yeah, listening to it, care for it as if it's like a friend or a baby. Yeah, it's not an enemy. So the more I care for it, the more it will listen to me. It's not about fighting it, it's about becoming friend with it. And this will make a whole difference. And this is what I learned from the women. And it's good and nice to keep, sending it to the others.
If someone who's listening this right now is struggling with the food, body image, or self-worth, what is the final message you would want them to take away?
You're not broken. Nothing is wrong with you. You just haven't learned tools to support yourself. And nobody, when we were young, I mean, the emotional awareness is not very old. Like when we were kids, nobody came and said, "Oh, what do you feel? Let me show you the emotional wheel," and things like that. These tools, they were not there. Our parents didn't teach us these things.
True.
We're getting more and more aware of these things. We're learning. So it's fine if we don't know. But it's important to support ourselves and reach out to a health professional who can help us understand these new tools that we have and take them and practice them. So you're not broken. You don't like willpower. You don't like discipline, because also I hear it often. Yeah, I don't have the discipline. I don't have the motivation. No, dear. You don't have the right tools.
Yeah.
Once you have the tools, then you'll be able to use them and become easy. Yeah, how are you going to solve a math exercise and you don't know how to count?
Exactly. Right. We have a tradition. Every guest has a question for a next guest. So I'm going to ask you a question from my previous guest. It was, what is one thing that is non-negotiable for women over 40 in their daily routine?
Daily support of our nervous system. Because before 40, you could just go some days without supporting yourself and it will be fine. It's not, a real must on a daily basis. But after 40, with the hormone changing, the stress increasing, the responsibility increasing, it is a must to support our nervous system on a daily basis. So every night, let's say 10 minutes before we sleep, we decide to do one tool. Either I journal, or I listen to quiet music, or read a book, or listen to a meditation. But every day, we need to, fill this empty cup a little bit on a daily basis. Otherwise, nothing will work. Like we will be emotionally eating, our stress will be very high, we'll not be able to support others. So daily nervous system regulation.
So create a routine for yourself that works for you.
Yes, on a daily basis, not just occasionally or once a week. Once a week won't do anything, won't make a change. Won't be enough, because we're bombarded by a lot of stress on a daily basis, 24/7. Like all the messages on your phone are even considered as a danger to our nervous system.
Yeah, true. And what will be your question to our next guest?
To the next guest, so it would be, what did you stop proving to others? And when you did that, how did it change your life or your relationship or your body when you stop proving something to others? What it is and how did it change you?
Nice. Yes, I like that question.
Let's see what they will answer.
Yes. Okay, one last thing. Where can people find you if they want to contact you, what is the best way to contact?
Sure. So they can find me on Insta. It's Christelle Bedrossian, and they can also, schedule a free call with me to discuss the emotional eating program that I have over 6 or 8 weeks. So I usually give a free call, then a second discovery call, then if they wish to continue and do the program, we continue. So with these two things, or on WhatsApp, it will be present on Instagram as well.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much, Christelle, for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you for your time. I really like your story. I really like the tools that you're sharing. I feel like it can be life-changing for a lot of women.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again sometime.
Yeah, sure. I loved your energy, your calmness. It's nice to discuss this topic with someone who has a nervous system that is regulated.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.